All right. So, 2 weeks ago, an artist named Karra made a video called I Invested $100,000 to create my album and Spotify deleted it. It really got a lot of buzz, almost about 350,000 views since then. And then she posted 3 days ago a response video to it, basically replying to everybody who made a video regarding her situation. And what I think is pretty cool about it is that she made a lot of really good points in part two. So let's watch part two. I'm gonna react to this because there's things in here that I thought that I was gonna say with regards to my video on like what's going on with the music industry. But she's an expert. So let's see what she's
Comments
got.
and numerous reaction videos from fellow music channels.
Karra had this to say about what she's going to be doing related to Spotify moving forward.
All right, so the artist Karra,
Skip this.
And apparently over 2,000 people agree, including me. It seems like the music industry's pretty much been broken since the internet piracy era of the early 2000s. It's only changed flavors, lost value, and gotten worse since. I'm 33, and people my age or older remember buying albums and CDs from our favorite artists. However, people younger than me grew up with infinite, unlimited access to music through the internet. Basically, you pay for your cell phone bill, and all entertainment thereafter is free. And technically, this is true, as long as you're willing to sit through ads. Since entertainment is already everywhere, for many consumers, paying for music is equal to paying for air. It's intrinsically valuable and necessary, but it's already everywhere at all times. So why pay for it? The next popular topic.
Okay, I want to hit that. That reply right there, that situation right there. I think she's right. 100% correct with what she said right there. I think it's important to note that there's been so many generations after the Napster generation that have come out now, and their perception of what music's value is not the same as me, somebody who was born in the 80s. I had to buy cassettes, I had to buy CDs. My parents had to buy cassettes, albums, CDs, and there was a physical medium with regards to accessing music. The only way to really get music, if you wanted to make your own stuff, was like recording something on the radio or recording something on TV. That was it, right? You want to make a mixtape, that's where that came from. But you've got generations of children who literally have grown up and all they know is the internet. In addition to that, they grew up after the Napster situation, so accessing things free, quickly, not even having like the responsibility to have to put like some type of an investment in towards the music is definitely contributing to people not buying records. So for her, she made a good point here. And I want to kind of tie this back because I saw that there was an article that came out with regards to like a few other artists who are popular right now. I think it was like Tyler, a few other artists that were popular at this time. And when I say popular, I mean popular in the context of like what it means to be popular with nowadays records. You basically don't have the same type of fandom in most modern music that you did in the past. So what I mean by that is you basically have a situation where people don't have to put financial devotion towards your particular material. And so in that aspect is basically only valuable for the availability of what it is. I think that is one of the biggest issues with artists today talking about they want to make a living when it comes to music industry, right? Because in the music industry today, you're not going to make a living by selling CDs. You're only going to make a living by touring and getting your videos synced and things like that. If it's not happening that way, well, guess what? You're not going to make enough money to actually make that be your main income. And nobody's going to be dumb enough to give you $500,000 like it used to be back in 20 years ago when I was trying to make it first in the music industry. Like it literally, that whole era is gone. It's all about influence. It's all about how much can I advertise off of you. And it's all about, essentially where can I place the songs to get some music. Now, what's messed up is the placement stuff is about to go out the way too with the interaction of AI. That's not going to last very long either. So we'll see how all this plays out, but I don't think it's going to go as good as a lot of people think it's going to go with regards to that type of music.
Was going back to physical media. While countries like Japan are still selling CDs in 2025, Western countries are barely selling any CDs at all. In fact, this is one of the reasons why K-pop and J-pop is so lucrative, because they still buy physical media. I know this from personal experience because my highest publishing payouts came from J-pop and K-pop releases. In Western countries, most major department stores still have an aisle for CDs, but you barely see anyone shopping in those aisles. As much as I would love for consumers to value physical music,
How many of y'all got CD players? Like real talk, like for real. How many of y'all got CD players? I just want to know. Does anybody have a CD player? I have CD players, not in my cars anymore. I have CD players in the way of an Xbox or an old PlayStation, but that's it, right? That's it. I bought a vinyl disc player because I grew up with vinyl in my house, so I always wanted. I love the way that vinyl smelled. I love the way that vinyl sounded. So I got a vinyl disc player, a record player essentially. But no, I mean most people don't have physical mediums, and it's the way of the world. But nah, this is gone. And what's funny is I saw a video the other day. It's an artist in Korea. Her name is Nikki Bibi. And her label, which is a guy named Tiger JK and Tasha or Yumire, basically like they had a box set that they were doing a demo of opening on, and it had a whole bunch of cool stuff for her physical release, which was dope. But how many artists actually get to put together that level of a physical presentation for their fans? This is what she means when she talks about K-pop. K-pop is a whole different genre, sincerely intense fans, and you got to give the people something of value in K-pop. But in most pop music, you don't have to do that, and that's just the way of the world it is today.
it's an uphill battle. The next common theme you'll find in the comments is suggesting that this is just a DistroKid problem. It appears that DistroKid isn't.
So we'll skip this part here, but DistroKid, what DistroKid is, it's a distributor for digital releases. And so if you're in the situation where you're an artist and you want to get your music out, there's a bunch of different companies that can do that for you. We call them digital distribution companies, basically, right? And so, like, you got CD Baby, you got DistroKid, you got a few other ones too. Not really going to go into the depths of them, but the point being is, she spent $100,000 to essentially create an album, but at the end of the day, when she breaks down her points, only $25 of that went to DistroKid. Now I don't know what she got with DistroKid to do it for $25, because when I was with DistroKid, you had to pay a lot more monthly in addition to getting your content ID and for YouTube, so that whenever your song is played on YouTube, you get some type of like recognition on that. So she may have more things that were added on to that cost, but I mean, $100,000 on anything with regards to this is pretty crazy. It's pretty high, but I respect it because I understand how it could be. So one thing that she went viral on here is that she actually took her music off of Spotify because Spotify said that, well, actually she didn't take it off. Spotify took it off for her. Basically, Spotify was like, hey, listen, you're using AI bots to rack up listens. She said she's not. I believe her. I don't think she has a reason to do that. But we are in an era where Spotify is legitimately pushing like AI bands, AI music. And so what are you going to do when a company that's supposed to protect music people, music artists or whatever, and keep the integrity there, is literally creating their own artificial artists, and they're saying they're doing it because they're trying to fill gaps in their playlist, which is some bull. Because there's so many people creating music and putting music out, there's no way that there's gaps there. But now you've got a situation where somebody can literally create a prompt and literally turn around and just create a whole freaking album. How do you compete with that? Especially when most people don't know, right? For one. So if you're not telling people, you're keeping it a secret. The second thing is, if you're telling people and they're accepting it, that's a lost battle, because that band's never going to physically perform. But you know what, though? It goes back to that generational thing we're talking about. If you're not used to buying records, if you're not used to buying tickets for concerts, then why does it even matter? Because if your only interaction when it comes to artists is listening to it on Spotify, and that's it, or putting it into a TikTok, and that's it, then you don't really care. And it's going to impact a lot of other aspects of art, but music is definitely something where I feel like is advanced to the point where you can't really tell. And I think that's a problem that needs to be resolved, but I don't know if it's ever really going to be resolved at this point, because the argument's going to be other countries are doing it too. I was about to say the name, you probably heard me, but I'm just going to stop and say other countries are doing it too. So at the end of the day, you can try to sue Spotify. Hell, you can try to sue the AI companies for stealing your music, but they're going to do it. And unless your music is like really weird and really unorthodox, how do you prove that they took it? Because most people's music follows the same type of format. So I'm gonna just end that here. I don't really feel like there's anything else that I really need to add on to that. She does mention a few other things. She talks about why she spent $100,000. She talks about the marketing aspect of this for her record and stuff like that. I think that this is something what she said she wants to do. She wanted to try to make it pop like that. And when you're talking about a major release, a lot of people don't understand this, but when you're talking about a major release of a record, you do actually have to spend six figures of money to actually to market it. So you've got a budget that technically used to be bigger because it used to be more expensive to create records, but it's gotten a lot cheaper with that. Yes, marketing has gotten cheaper too, but in order for you to get your song on radio, in order for you to get your song popping like that, you technically need to like get it put to a place where um, people can hear it. So that's going to cost you some money. Why? Because you got to buy ad space. That's the reason. That's the way you get your songs on radio. I just said something that a lot of people don't know about. It's the modern day payola when it comes to radio. It's not that I'm paying to put it in the DJ's pocket. Is that I'm paying to get an ad space ran so I can get like a 20-second, 30-second run of my song. If it gets picked up because people are calling and requesting it, guess what? Now my song is in rotation. That's how that works. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now you've also got the extension of like Spotify, their playlist, all their programming directors from radio to Spotify and all that stuff like that. It's a game, y'all. It's a game. It's a business. This is the business of music, and it really is exactly what that is. So I'm gonna let you guys go with this one. I don't really feel like there's anything else to really say about it, but let me get your feedback in the comments. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this video. Please check it out. I'll tag it in the description here so you guys can check out her original video and her response video. It's fantastically done the way she did it because she takes you through her whole process. But if you're intrigued about it, I think it's a good read. I think it's a good watch. So guys, please check it out. I'll let you later. Peace.